So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So what we have here today is the 2022 Honda CR-V SX Diesel. So yes, I've always wanted to feature this on my channel already. I actually driven a CR-V SX already last year, and I can say it's probably one of my favorite default crossovers if ever I wanted one of these. I mean, it's a CR-V, enough said. So before we continue on with the review, so it's a bit crowded here because I am here currently at Honda Cars Green Hill. So I would like to thank Sir Viel, Sir Joshua, Miss Rain for allowing me to review this CR-V diesel. There will be more Honda reviews coming here in Honda Green Hill, so stay tuned for that. The Honda CR-V SX Diesel, this is probably my favorite of the entire CR-V lineup because for me, just being honest, I'm not entirely sure with the gasoline powered CR-V. Having driven this last year in Landers, I fell in love with this thing, to be honest, and I highly recommend this already. So also ground clearance is also the tallest within the CR-V variant. This one is 208 millimeters, and the looks of it, it's pretty conservative for what this is. I mean, there's gloss black here in the grille, a lot of chrome here. It's your standard crossover, and you have LED fog lamps here down below. And then side profiles, surprisingly, not much cladding, just the right amount. And then boot space, you have an electronic tailgate for this top-of-the-line variant. With all the seats up, you have 150 liters. There's under storage, and you have one light there in the back. And then with the third row down, you have 472 liters of space. And with all the seats down, you have a total of 967 liters of space. I don't believe the numbers with all the seats down. It looks more spacious than the numbers state. So yeah, that's all I can say with this CR-V SX Diesel. Pretty conservative for a crossover, but there's a lot more stuff that I need to show you from the interior. So this is the interior of the Honda CR-V SX Diesel. It sounds alright. The doors are lowered down so you can hear it's quite hot. I was expecting it to rain today. Anyway, one more thing in the exterior before I also found one more thing in the exterior. The camera indicator is only at the right side of the side mirror. Here in the interior of the CR-V, I love this interior, to be honest. I mean, for this price point, I know there's some stuff that don't have this and that, but for the CR-V, seems pretty complete. I know it's fake wood trim, but the fake wood trim here looks pleasing to the eyes. The material, yeah, you can feel it's plastic, but it's nice to the touch. You have them here in the door cut, the left side of the air conditioning vent, here in the center console, and the right side on the dashboard in the passenger side. To my surprise, there's not much gloss black here. The only gloss black in here, there's only one strip of it here in on top of the dashboard, and then here for your climate control. But that is mainly it. And then in your infotainment system as well. And the infotainment system is alright, but I did notice it is a little bit laggy only, and then reverse camera is not that great, but I don't mind it. It's still good to have. Oh yeah, and there's also gloss black here below the steering wheel. And then steering wheel, okay, this is more like polyurethane or leather, but more on the durable side. It is quite hard to touch though. But driving dynamics, I get to that later. I love this thing. So continuing here in the door card, not much plastic, it's all leather here surprisingly, hence it's the top of the line variant. You have cubby space and two bottle holders on each side of the door. My water jug just fits, just kinda hard to get in. And then yeah, there's more gloss black here as well in your window switches. And then here on the left side of the dashboard, there is a lot of buttons and a lot of blank buttons as well. Also, what I like with this CR-V SX Diesel, they're paddle shifters. And before I get to the engine, this is mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. My first impressions of this CR-V SX Diesel, I thought this was gonna be a CVT, but no. They stuck with this 9-speed automatic transmission. Hence, it's a diesel. This produces a lot of torque. So I don't think a CVT transmission can handle the torque of this thing. Also, the funkiest thing with this CR-V SX Diesel, the center console, there's no gear lever whatsoever. It's all buttons. I find that very weird, but first time driving this last year, you'll get used to it pretty fast. And also being the top of the line variant, I love the dashboard. It's all soft touches here and there. And then also, like most Hondas I tried, you have a red engine start stop button. And then your instrument cluster, I love it. It's all digital. They kind of give like Formula 1 SQs for me only, I don't know why. And then steering wheel, yeah, the buttons are plastic. Not a fan of that, just being honest, but they're there for your infotainment system on the left side, and then cruise control functions on the right side. And then glove box, okay, pretty decent. You have also telescopic steering wheel. It's kind of far, it's a far reach by there to the steering wheel, but at least there is. Below the gear buttons. You have 2 USB ports and then 1 wireless charging pad. It fits my phone perfectly, but it doesn't charge my phone since my phone isn't capable of wireless charging. And then you have 2 cup holders here. They fit my water jug perfectly. And there's also a funny tray here. It fits my camera and phones here. And then you can just slide it down. You have more cubby spaces. And then there's another funky thing. The center console box is also leather. You open that, you have your usual tray, but you can remove this thing, the tray, and I have an extra storage, so you can definitely fit a wine bottle there underneath. So also seats, very leather, not on the durable side, but they're really soft. I like this. There's also a nice texture around them. And then above here, as you can see, there's a panoramic sunroof. I love this feature. And then you have LED lights as well above there, sunglasses holder, then visors. There's a vanity mirror with light, and then oh, extend. Alright, good job, Honda. I wonder if it's applicable in the left side. Oh yeah, it is applicable on the passenger side as well. There's also same banana with this side. So going back to the steering wheel, the buttons, the plastic, I'm not a fan of it, as I said, because can you hear that? It's hard to press. In the center console, I thought these were soft ones, but they're plastic. They don't do anything. Also, you have electronic adjustments for the seats for the driver and passenger side. That's something the CR-V has, unlike most of its competition. So here, the second row of the CR-V SX diesel. Still solid, and then as you can see, the panoramic roof touches all the way here, but it does not eat too much of headroom. I am 5'4", that's why I have a lot of space, so taller people might tend to struggle just ever so slightly, but space here down below, knee room, feet room, excellent. Transmission tunnel, nearly non-existent. You can just simply put your feet up, and then in the middle you have 2 air conditioning vents and then 2 USB ports. Here at the door, this one sadly is now plastic, but you still have the wooden trim here, and then you have a dual speaker setup as well there. Gloss back here again with the window switch, and unlike in front, now you have a smaller cubby space and 1 bottle holder this time, but still my water jug just fits. And then there's a weird grocery hook here on the B pillar, and then you have 2 map pockets on either side. The seat's still leather, I love it. It's so soft, and I can literally relax here in the back. And then speaking of, you have a central armrest. Sadly, my water jug, my water jug just fits but doesn't go all the way in. And then if I sit here in the middle, as I said, the transmission tunnel is not too much in the way. Very doable to sit here in the middle. So with that, usually CR-Vs only are 5-seater, but surprisingly this one is 7-seater. So I'll show you the third row. You also have lights here at their LED as well, and then surprisingly here are your air conditioning controls. The biggest surprise though, there are 4 air conditioning vents, so expect this to be a very cold ride with this CR-V. Space here in the back though, I mean, it's doable. I have just enough knee room, feet room. Not the best, to be honest. There's a lot of protrusions here, but surprisingly that's only here on the left side. But if I sit here on the right, the floor is completely flat, so I don't know why this has the protrusions on the floor here on the left side. But feet room is okay. I mean, the knee room just enough for me, and then headroom, so anyone below 5'6" or smaller children will be fine here in the third row. But there's still enough toys here. There have 2 cubby spaces and a very flimsy cup holder here. You have to put your water jug or bottles very gently, but at least it holds it in place. So if I sit here in the middle, okay, it is enough. But I'm really annoyed, just being honest, here on the left side. I don't know why there's a protrusion here on the left side only. Well, I know it's not a fair comparison, but just being honest again, I'd rather sit here in the third row rather in the Nissan Terra. So that's about it here in the third row. Also, they have 2 tethering points here as well. On top, surprisingly, they're usually here in the seats. So with that, I'll show you the engine. So this is the engine of the Honda CR-V SX diesel. It's a 1.6 liter turbocharged diesel engine that produces 120 horsepower and 300 Newton meters of torque, and is mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. I remember when Honda announced the CR-V was going to become a diesel model, the world got crazy. But when I drove it, I think it was a very good move to take. Now this is the all-wheel drive version. It is like almost 100 kilograms heavier than the non all-wheel drive version. And then with that, let's go for a drive. After a year of asking for a CRV review, I finally have one in my hands again. And yet, it's probably my favorite CRV. It's the all-wheel drive one. I mean, just in D mode. Really weird with this layout, but look. This is what I like with this CRV SX all-wheel drive diesel. It's not the fastest thing in the world. It's brisk enough. It feels like it's just the right amount of power and torque. And also, unlike some of its diesel competitors and PPVs, I must say, the diesel is not that loud. That's the big surprise with this CRV. And then as well, steering wheel, it's a little bit heavy, but being the all-wheel drive variant, as I said, there's excellent feel with this. This is what I like with actually all Hondas that I've featured so far on my channel. They all have good steering feels. Probably one of the best overall for a Japanese brand, the steering feel. Honda are pretty good. And also the surprise, these paddle shifters. I'll demo that in a bit. But let's go here first in the tough part of EDSA. I actually said I've never considered diesels if I want to own one again. But this CRV and of course my favorite ever pickup top, the Strada, this is probably on top as well. I mean, my cousin almost bought one of these as well. And then body roll, yeah, there is, but it's not too bad. And then here, bumpy parts immediately. NVH here as well with this CRV is excellent. And now just drive, gonna floor it. That's pretty good. And that's what I like with this 9-speed automatic transmission. It is really responsive. Torque delivery, power delivery, I mean, kick down's alright. Just right amount. I mean, this would be a perfect daily if I ever wanted to own one of these. And that's just in drive mode. There's also the sport mode later. I'll try that in a bit. And I noticed, unlike from last year, the brakes are really high. I mean, it's almost like sedan-like. I would even say it's almost as good as the CT RS or Civic RS. I have to say, the brake feel of this is excellent. And also, I love that camera indicator. Just a bit weird, it's just on the right side, but at least it's still good to have. Then sport mode. Okay, you get the high speeds just in the nick of time. I mean, it's not as slow, just being honest, as like the CTV. Okay, not the RS, the CTV. And that's what I as well like with the automatic transmission. You can play. Look. Wow. You get pushed back in your seat. Of course, this has like what, 300 Newton meters of torque. And overtake is really easy. And as well, I didn't even click the paddle yet. If you heard it on camera, it automatically upshift. And I even forgot we were in EDSA. Look how comfortable this thing is. Like, it soaks up bumps and road imperfections perfectly. This is probably also one of the most comfortable crossovers. Not just in its class, probably the best in class. I would dare say I've not driven a Rolls Royce, by the way, but I understand now why people say this is almost Rolls Royce level of drive. And from my experience, this is like Ford F-150 Raptor V8 comfortable, that good. And also being the highest in its class, going over humps and bumps pretty easy, and well, going over hump pretty fast. It's also done pretty well. And then I noticed just right now, in drive mode, just in the automatic mode, there's just a slight delay only. I mean, look, then just kicks down. So we put it to sport, watch. Oh, it picks up immediately. Wow. Okay, better from what I experienced last year. This is really fun to drive. And then changing down a gear, surprisingly not that jerky. Usually some of the crossovers I type, when you change it down a gear, they tend to jerk ever so slightly. Not this one. You can feel the engine kicking down, but no transmission kick whatsoever. What else can I say about the CRV SX diesel? Probably one of the best in class, probably one of the best crossovers ever. I can say that. But I can say it's definitely one of the most comfortable one. The body lean, taking corner a little bit fast, yeah. It's present, but it ain't too bad. There's a lot of grip. Of course, this is the all-wheel drive version. I don't know what's with Hondas, but I keep seeing this figure. So with my driving only here, I've been averaging 8.4 kilometers per liter. What's with Hondas and 8.4 kilometers per liter every time? As I mentioned earlier, this is a pretty heavy car. It's like 1,732 kilograms. This is a very, very fuel efficient car. So I understand why everyone keeps going for the CR-V diesel instead. I mean, Philippines is still dependent on diesel. And then I see why no one buys the CR-V S gasoline model. I heard it's kind of thirsty. So I understand why people go for the HR-V S base variant instead. Overtaking pretty easy. Wow. Driving dynamics probably among one of the best as well. And I dare say it, I don't know why. I prefer this over the HR-V S base variant. It just drives a little bit more suave or smoother than that. But then again, this is a diesel and the HR-V S is a gasoline model. But they're both good in their own right. I love this combo of the 9-speed automatic transmission and this diesel engine. I mean, everything is so smooth. I mean, look. It's not like in-your-face kind of power. It's just the right amount. This CR-V SX is probably the perfect crossover for you. One drawback though is its price. Since also there's a price increase at the moment, this costs right now 2,238,000 pesos. It is quite steep, yes. However, it's already fully loaded. That's what I like about this CR-V SX diesel. It's definitely much worth it. I mean, heck, my cousin wanted one of these as well. Also, I noticed the cornering camera. I don't know why, it's much better. I mean, it's still low res, but it's much better than the reverse camera itself, just being honest. And then yes, look, driving it, just slowly flooring it. You can hear the diesel engine, but not as much. It's not as annoying like what as a Mitsubishi Montero, Strada, and a Navara, and the Terra. I know those are PPVs, but they're diesel engines anyways. I love this thing. So that concludes my review of this Honda CR-V SX diesel. I want to thank Sir Viel, Miss Rain, and Sir Joshua for allowing me to review. And there will be more Honda cars that I will review here in Honda Green Hills coming soon. So hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you with more Honda reviews. Bye bye.